Good afternoon. All right. We are at Black Box Radio. Listen, I am excited. This is second Monday. So second and fourth Mondays, we always make it make sense Mondays. And it's just a pleasure to be in space. And I'm in the diaspora. My brother's in Kenya, and we're coming together to kind of make a safe space for Africans. And that's what's up. I mean, Africans all over the world. We want you guys to chime in, get in the chat, don't hold back. We got some content for you today. This is ORINA show, so I'm gonna give it to him. This is Queen. I'm Queen. I am a host at Black Box Radio. We are a multimedia platform illustrating Black excellence. And this is excellence because this is a collaboration between Black people, African people, and I'm so in space for ORINA. Take it, brother. It's yours.
Hey, so for those who don't know me, for those who are watching us for the first time, maybe even the last time, you never know. Yeah,
You never know.
Because they might hear the messages and they're like, nope, I'm never watching this ever again.
Never again.
Yeah. So I am ORINA. I'm from Kenya. I'm a Kenyan Pan-Africanist, and I'm the founder of Sell Africa to Africans. By the way, ever since Pan-African Lifestyle, by the way, thanks and shout out to Pan-African Lifestyle. They featured me in their huge platform, and ever since that, people like the idea, people like the concept, people like the name of the movement, Sell Africa to Africa. So,
I love
it. So basically, like what I do is I'm trying to link Africa to the African diaspora through various ways. First of all, through me showcasing Black businesses all over the world who are, which are actually improving the race in any way, shape, or form. So I've featured seven so far, and I'm yet to feature more. In fact, the next one is going to be amazing. So I have that, and also, me, I'm always the truth teller. I'm always the blunt, harsh. I don't want to say. I'll say I'm angry. Yeah, I'm an angry Black man who is angry of where we are right now. Who's angry of where we are heading and where we have been. And I'm expressing it and I'm trying to give out solutions. So that's basically Sell Africa to Africans. And I have more. I want to put on merch. I have to put on my, I'm thinking of putting on a community where we'll be doing forums every week. I'm thinking started on Telegram. I don't want to do WhatsApp because, I don't want people's numbers to be exposed. So I'd like to do it on Telegram where you can hide your number and you can interact with. So I want to create a community of Africans from all over the world to interact in this group chat, and then we'll be doing voice. We'll be doing voice, discussion, voice conferences, forums every week. Different topics.
All audio, right?
Yeah, audio. Yeah, more like Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, and people are good with that because a lot of people don't want to be seen. They don't want to talk, but they want to, they don't want to be seen. So that helps a lot. Yeah, that's good. Ooh, what else? What else you got?
So that's what I'm. But the merchandise one is one that I'm really focusing on. I'm focusing on on putting on Sell Africa to African merchandise, T-shirts, hoodies.
T-shirt.
Yeah,
Gotta have
and I need to talk to you about merchandise because it's my first time doing merchandise.
We'll talk
So
about it. I got you.
yeah, I just need some advice.
I got you. I'll hook
And
you up. I
then
got
yeah, and the I want to put on probably like 20% of the profits to go out to poor school. Queen. Let me tell you something. When you come to Kenya, you will see the another level of poverty. You know,
you.
like like poverty here is on another level, especially when you go to the countryside, the rural areas. It's bad. You know, you find kids who are walking to school barefoot. You know, and the first time that, like my dad was telling me, the first time he ever saw shoes was when he first, was enrolled into high school. So up until high school, he had never worn shoes before, and that was in the 70s and in the 80s, and it's still happening till this day.
It's still,
But,
that's shameful. Shameful. Oh.
yeah,
And
so
to hear that and the excess of the shoes that I have, just me, just alone, the excess of shoes that I have. They say in America, even the poor is rich. It's the truth.
mm,
We don't know poverty. We know how to be, maybe not have as much as everybody else, but we don't know poverty. And so I that hurts me to hear that young people don't have shoes going to school. It hurts me
oh,
to
it's
hear something. Oh my gosh, just in 2025. Unbelievable.
improving. Well,
Mm,
well, it's improving, but there are still, a sizable number of children who are walking to school barefoot.
mm,
Let me tell you a story. I was volunteering. This was a few years ago. I was volunteering for a NGO that was dealing with poor schools, right?
mm.
So my job was to go to these poor schools and to do, NGO work. Now, there was a school I went to. Man, I think when I came back home from the school, I just locked myself in the bathroom and I started crying because I've never seen anything like that. A
Jesus.
school whereby a school whereby there's no solid food. So kids come from their
Mm.
homes where there's not much food, and
No
then they
solid.
come to school. They come to school hoping that they will get good food where they can eat
Yeah.
well and have good nutrition, so they can learn better. But the school, like there's no solid food. It's only porridge. So porridge.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they take porridge for lunch,
Mm,
and
mm.
that's it. So
Well,
I'm telling
well, I
you,
hope we can do something here, and not only just your merch, also me on this side, that we could do something that can pool money, and we can sponsor some of these children, sponsor some of the schools. Not only to us to talk about, because solutions not only is what we're talking about, solutions is actually arming our young people with what they need. They need education, they need food, they need shoes, they need clothing. So I don't know. We're going to talk about it off camera too, how we could set up something that we can get some resources to Kenya. It's unbelievable, and
yeah,
it's hard for me in the diaspora and being in the States. I mean, we got plenty homeless. Don't get it twisted. There's a lot of poor in the U.S. Capitalism doesn't work if it doesn't have a poor class. So I want Africa to know. Do not believe the marketing you see of America. America is not juice and berries. I promise you that. Capitalism cannot work unless it has a class of people that are oppressed, that are poor, and that
mm,
are stagnant. So capitalism has that too. So America has poor people. Let me make that. Let me let you understand that. But the type of poverty in Africa is because Western nations are what they are. They've stripped and they've done so much to African nations that us in the diaspora is our responsibility to look to see what we can do. And because I'm telling you, the amount of shoes I have, I'm almost angry that a child doesn't have shoes. I mean, every color, anything that I want, you know. And yes, I work for it, but how many shoes does one person need when one doesn't have a pair?
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? So that disturbs me, and so we need to try to work out something where we can get some funding to Africa for sure.
Yeah. So I just don't want to sell much. I want Sell Africa to Africans to be a movement.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
which is why I want a certain percentage of. I'm just thinking out loud, but that's what I want to do ultimately. I'm thinking
Okay.
a certain percentage, a certain percentage of the merchandise. I should put it in, uh, uh, to go and really sponsor these children, at least to have, basic needs, to have clothing, to have shoes, first of all, and then
Yes.
to have,
Ooh.
so that's what I want to do, especially in the rural areas. Here in the city, uh, you might find children have shoes. Yeah, they might, even though,
Mhm,
yeah, there's still a lot of people who live in, in the city. The problem is poor housing,
mhm,
especially slums and everything, and poorly resourced neighborhoods. Especially, Nairobi. Nairobi is not what you guys see. Nairobi is very beautiful, very,
mhm, mhm.
but still there is a sizable amount of people who live in poor neighborhoods, especially slums. In fact, like one of the biggest slums in Africa is in Nairobi.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah. So so Nairobi is beautiful, but it also has its dark places.
Yeah,
But anyway, it's because of a lot of things that
a lot of
we can spend a whole, we can spend a whole episode talking about. Mm.
yes, yes, for sure. I mean, and I get what you say. Like, it's kind of, New York is beautiful, but New York got ghettos.
Mm.
You know, y'all call them slums, but they got ghettos. You got the projects. Don't forget about the projects. So we got
Mm.
projects. We got So I mean, in Baltimore, where we are, it has beautiful parts, but it has very, very poor parts. It has a lot of crime. Because the problem here is guns. The problem in America is guns. The availability, you can get a gun before you can get a meal. It's a shame, unfortunately. Like, they're willing to they'll get you a gun, but you're not gonna get no food. We live in sick times around folks who are fine with you unaliving yourself, unaliving your neighborhood, as long as it stays with you. So they can call it black on black crime, or Chinese on Chinese crime, but everybody else's crime. But it's a culture. When you're a bully in the world, you're a bully. Your children bully. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see bullies in school, usually their parents are bullies. You get what I'm saying? So that's what you see in the U.S. The U.S. is a bully, and the people are bullies. And everybody has guns, so it's a hard mix. And so I love this, that we can share where we live and share how, what is going on where we live openly and authentically. I'm not saying I don't love America. Um, I have problems with America. But my goal is to get to Africa. That's my only goal, is to get to a place where I can see black and brown people all the time
Mm.
in leadership. I don't care if they're poor, rich. I just want to see them everywhere. And not only that, that's natural for me. That's really home. The unfortunate for
Well,
us is we got to find out where home is. That's the only thing that's unfortunate. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, well, yeah. You say you're going, to come to Africa and see people who look like you everywhere. Well,
Everywhere.
unless you come to Kenya to a place called Westlands,
Oh
where
Lord.
yeah, where it's like Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
It's like
Wow.
And that's what I want to talk about today. Today we're talking about tech, yeah.
Technology.
Let me tell you something. This cannot come at a very opportune time because just the other day when I was at work, uh, uh, we were having a meeting with a certain no, actually, yeah, with a certain Kenyan company.
Mm-hmm.
So at first, I didn't know it was a white company. I was just told, someone's coming. We And when the boardroom opened, it was a white boy,
Mm-hmm.
and we did the meeting. So I asked my manager, "Hey, this guy, which company does he work for?" He's like, "Is this it's just a tech company. He got $5 million worth of funding when he got into business, like after 2 months, 3 months." I was like, wait.
What?
Which Kenyan company gets $5 million worth of funding within 2 months of being in business?
Wow.
Then I realized. Then I did my research. Queen, let me tell you something.
Wow.
There's something in Kenya called rent a mzungu. So mzungu is a white man in Swahili. So at least today you've learned one Swahili word, mzungu. So
Zoom. What does it mean? Say it again. Say it again so I can
uh,
say it. What is it? Say it again.
it, it's mzungu.
Muzungu.
Yeah, boom, close. Yeah,
Muzungu. And
yeah,
that means white man.
yeah. That means white man, white woman, mzungu. Yeah,
The Muzungu. I
yeah.
love it. Word for the day. Okay, that's Swahili for white. Got it.
Yeah. So like they get funding so easily. There's something in Kenya called rent a mzungu. So many tech companies here in Kenya, tech startups,
Mm-hmm.
they are started here in Kenya. They are started by Kenyans, but and some of them are very creative. I'm telling you, there's so much talent here in Kenya and even here in Africa, but they can't get funding.
Mm.
And if they get funding from local investors and just local investors, they're not going to get that type of money that they need in order for them to really go to the next level. Because with tech needs a lot of money to scale.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
So
Yeah.
a lot of Kenyan tech startups go to white investors. They go to American investors. They
Really?
go to Europe. Yeah, they go to American investors. They go to European investors, but they don't get the funding that they seek. They're rejected. Those mzungus, they don't want to. They don't want
There you go.
to. Like they don't want to tell them that that you're black and that you're a nigger with a hard R.
What?
What they tell you is your ideas already been explored, or I don't think it's fit for the market. How do you know what's fit for the market and you don't even live in Kenya? So
Ah.
so they give all those stupid excuses, and then they don't
Mm-hmm.
approve funding for them.
Wow.
So you know what these Kenyan startups do? They
What?
go rent a mzungu. They get a white guy to become a
They
top
front.
guy in the business, maybe a CEO or a
Wow.
COO or a CTO or a CFO. Then you create a nice website, and or maybe your LinkedIn, and you put your white management, so that you can market to your investors that, hey, we have this white guy from whatever, and now he's the CEO. When you do that, you increase the chances of you getting funding.
The same thing here. It's so sad. Same thing. This is the problem that's why we need infrastructure, African infrastructure, because we have to fund our own stuff. And the thing about what's so amazing about what you just said is that we look for folks who are not as creative, who don't understand and don't create. They just either attach, take, or buy. And I'm not saying that the Bazungu can't do their own. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, but the African is the innovator. Let's be clear. I mean, it's just what it is. And so, because listen, they're in Africa because why? Because you're innovating, and they understand that, and they understand where all of the resources are. So, in all actuality, what we see this all over the world, even here. A lot of us are having to attach, or we're called the minority. Can you imagine you're 50% of the international population, but you're a minority in one of the smallest countries in the world? Can you imagine if somebody calls you the minority and they're 17% of the population? This is what's happening. And so we do the same thing to vie for money and contracts. We have to go through the same. This is happening all over the world. So that's why what we're doing is so important. So you can see that even in Africa, we struggle to get our stuff out. It's a shame. It's literally a shame.
And yeah, so yeah, there's that. So like a lot. I'm telling you. So that's what's happening in the tech startup industry in Kenya now. You know, you put a white boy on top. You tell everybody that you have a white CEO, or the founder, the Kenyan founder has appointed a white CEO, a white COO. You will see money flowing into your accounts like nobody's business. Or this is what's happening. This is another thing that's happening. White people come to Kenya and they start tech startups, and immediately they come, they get funding. Like the white boy I was telling you that we had a meeting with, they get funding immediately versus black Kenyans who have, even maybe even better tech startups. They don't get the funding, but because they're white, they get the funding from Europe and America. So, what's happening in Kenya is that there's something called white privilege. White privilege is alive and well in business. All you need to do like all you need to do is to put a white boy on top, and boom, you'll have money. Or white people come from wherever they come to Kenya, put up tech startups. They start from nothing. Within 2 months, they get millions of dollars worth of funding. And then what happens is that these white tech startups, they create so much. Actually, they overshadow the competitions here in Kenya. So they overshadow the local businesses here in Kenya, because why? They have all the resources, they have the funding, they have. So if they have the funding, they can be able to employ more. If they employ more, they can be able to give out output that is of more quality and of more quantity.
Yeah, they look like they have it together. They look like they're smarter, they're better, but it's all because they have resources. It's not anything else.
So they are putting local businesses out of business, because with the resources that they have, with a bigger marketing budget, with a bigger development budget, with a bigger like with bigger budgets that will help them scale their business bigger than an average tech local startup.
Of course, that is the playbook all over the world. That's the playbook everywhere. Unfortunately, it's a playbook. Like we see these big businesses, and y'all in Africa look at the people who are starting a business because banks fund them. They have resources. They have spaces to do things that Black people and other people don't have. It's not because we can't do it. It's because we're not being allowed. Let's be clear. It's just what it is. And it's unfortunate, it's unfortunate. How can this happen in Africa? That's what,
Well,
you know,
and then
as a diasporan, that's what we say. How does this happen in Africa, where Africans are present? How?
I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how. But I also have to tell you that last year, I've forgotten the number, but a lot of tech startups. I'll give you the statistic, but it was in the thousands. Thousands of tech startups here in Kenya closed last year,
Mm,
local, because of lack of funding.
lack of funding.
Those,
Wow.
those are the businesses that lacked white people on top.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. When you put let me tell you, I've interacted with a lot of Kenyan tech, even just African tech startups. Let me tell you, we are very creative. We are so creative to a point whereby if there's anything that's missing is funding. If we get the
Mm,
funding that we need, we will make something even bigger than X. We'll make something even bigger than Facebook, bigger than Instagram. We'll make something bigger than Uber. We'll make
but that is what
something
they know
bigger
that.
than.
Don't you think they know
Oh
that?
yeah.
They see that we have had nothing and we've been able to continue to create. We've been able to continue to innovate. We've been able to with absolutely the bare bones, just almost raw knowledge and raw hustle and pushing pennies and making things happen. So I think these are all things that's by design. But we as Africans have to say enough. I don't want that product. I want a product from somebody from Kenya. If I'm in Kenya,
Now let me tell
we
you,
got, it's
uh,
hard.
when you come to Kenya, you'll find KFC is always full. You'll
Oh,
find Subway sandwiches. They're always full. You find which is this other one we like? This KFC. McDonald's has not gotten to Kenya yet, but they'll come very soon. Which one? Which one? Which one? I've forgotten. But
so
we have
you
so
got
many. We
KFC,
have what
Subway,
KFC? KFC is in every city. Is in every major city in Kenya. Are you kidding me? And it's
Chipotle.
always full. No,
Wow,
Chipotle. We don't have Chipotle. We don't have
no
Chipotle. It's
Chipotle.
KFC.
Okay, and no, I can't believe you don't have McDonald's, no Wendy's, no Burger King.
Burger
Um,
King. There's Burger King. There's Burger King.
yeah,
Yeah.
Burger King. Okay,
So, but it's
all
called
trash.
self. It's called self hatred. I remember when KFC debuted. I'm telling you, there was a line all the way to the parking lot, and, and I'm telling you, like it's called. You know why? So people, when people see a new KFC has popped up in new locations, people look at it as development. Like Kenyans look at it as, wow, we are
Mm,
moving forward. We are moving forward because we have this big American white, uh, uh, you know, fast food chain restaurant that has opened in Kenya. Like this is moving forward. But
mm, mm, mm.
when you come to Kenya, I can take you to one of the like I can take you to a lot of Kenyan spots that
Mhm.
that when you go there on a Saturday, Saturday is when people go out. I can take
Yeah.
you on a Saturday and on a Saturday afternoon, and the tables are almost empty. You'll find people, but the tables are not. It's not as full as you'd like it to be. You find Ethiopian restaurants here, but
Mm.
KFC will never, ever, ever, ever be not full. KFC is always full here. So,
That's
so
it's, it's the most ridiculous thing I could hear. It's ridiculous.
oh,
And but
it's
I
called
believe you. Sad.
yeah, yeah. It's called self hatred. It's called a colonized mindset. It's
Yep.
called everything white is right and everything black is whack.
Yep.
That you see
All of that.
KFC Yeah, like you see KFC as development and you see KFC as moving forward, but you don't see that local restaurant that is serving fresh food as, you know, as you know, as development and as moving forward.
Yeah, and KFC is not going to do anything for the community. KFC is coming to take. It's coming to take, rape, and steal.
Oh yeah.
Literally. And then not only that, the health breakdown that you're going to get from this chemically laced food. It's chemically enhanced, chemically laced food that that is not good for you. So it's unfortunate that our mindsets is when we see something that is not, that is Western, is progress. When they've never been about progress for other people. Never. It's always progress for self. Always. So I don't get that mentality, but I know it's true. And it's unfortunate. That's what I'm going to say. Very
Well,
unfortunate.
it's not
Sad.
only it's not only business, but or even housing, real estate. You know, places where white people are, like Kilimani. There's Kilimani. There is Parklands where a lot of Indians are. Kilimani is where a lot of white people are. Even
Mm.
Westlands, a lot of white people are there. There are some neighborhoods here in Nairobi that you find there's a lot of white people. You think it's Beverly Hills, and when you go there, the property value is the rent, the mortgage, the property value there is super high for a
What?
for 1 bedroom apartment or 2 bedroom or even a studio apartment. But when you go to places where there's a lot of Kenyans, you might even find
Mm-hmm.
it's 5 times cheaper than than places where white people are situated at. It's because where white people are is where the property value is high.
Mm. And
Even
there's
Indians.
something, we're listening
Yeah.
at patterns because those same patterns affect America. Wherever the Mzungu, I'm gonna say I'm using my new word. What is it,
Oh, you're
Mzungu?
good. You're good. You're good. You're
Wherever
good. You're
my
good.
Mzungu are is where the property rates are high. It's where the most retail is. It's where the best schools are. Wherever they're present. And so this is the arrogance that they take around the world, that wherever they go, they come and make it for them. So they bring everything. And we got to stop thinking like that, because there's there's a there's not a movement. If it depreciates you, then it's not for you. If something is coming around you, it should lift you up too. If it's not, then it's not good. And that's what we see. We see this from this is a playbook that's being played everywhere. We got to close this playbook and open a new playbook. That's what I
We
think.
have to.
So what yeah, we have to. So what are we going to do? What are you guys like for the tech startups? Do they all come together and say, let's unite and do our businesses in tandem? You know, it's got to be a way.
That's a
You can't
that is a
you
good
can't crush everybody. You know what I'm saying? Are they doing that?
that is a good question. Even though we have that, funding problem, one thing
Mm-hmm.
that I can criticize, if I can criticize Black Kenyan, just Black, actually, it's not really Kenya, it's just the whole of Africa. One thing I can say about Black African startups is that number one,
Mm-hmm.
they lack unity. You
Mm.
find that they are competing so much with each other and they have the same product, the same everything, same market. They don't want to
Mm.
partner. You know,
Yeah.
is that good old capitalism
Yeah, it is.
competition.
At all.
And
Hyper individualism,
exactly.
capitalistic movement. It's sad. Yeah, it stops your growth. You know,
Oh,
so
and then another thing is they don't support each other.
mm,
And then another thing, which is not for all, but some, but actually it's many, poor service.
ah,
So 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 not all, not all, not all, not all. No, again,
not all.
key
I hear
word
what
is
you're saying.
not all.
Not all.
but
Got it.
poor
Not
service
everybody.
is poor
It's
service
important.
is something that small and medium enterprises here in Africa should really rectify, because
Mm,
because even as much as we want to support them, we expect at least excellent service.
yeah, a
Uh,
certain
uh,
level of service for your money.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, some of them are not that courteous. Some of them don't have that good customer service that you'd like to
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
So if they really want to succeed, they like trust me. Let me tell you, because in my work I interact with almost every one of them,
Mm,
and a lot of them don't have good service. Okay,
mm.
so as much as we want to support them, we'd like them to have good service. So those are the three issues: funding, and service, and the unity part. You know, there's so much jealousy. Marcus Garvey said it best: black people are cursed with petty differences,
Mm.
and that's everywhere you go, even where you are in Baltimore. It's the same
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
Black people are cursed with petty differences. There's I was thinking about this the other day, Queen. There's no single, you know what? There's no single problem that the global African race has, be it in Africa, be it in the African diaspora, that cannot be solved within a week.
Did you say within a week?
Within a week, if we are serious, if we look at our problems, it is so minuscule, it is so
Wow.
easy to solve. That's how petty it is. Africa, we have a problem of what? Africa, we have a problem of what? Disunity.
Yeah.
What's
Just you
stopping us? What's stopping us from having a common currency?
right.
What's stopping us from uniting our economies? What's stopping us from moving
One
freely
bank.
in Africa?
Yeah. One
What's
bank, one president, one language. Not one language, but definitely one
even
currency.
one language? Even
One
one
language.
language. What's stopping
They
us?
said they got one pigeon. Pigeon is the
Nah,
word. I know.
Swahili should be.
I
I
think it
was
should.
saying this the other day. Yeah, I
It
was
should be
saying the other
smart.
day Swahili should be. Yeah,
It should be.
because
I agree with that. And
yeah.
most people speak. Yeah, I think it should be. And it's a beautiful language. I,
So
I
yeah, I
think
was
that
saying.
trauma is our problem. I think that what you see is the behaviors that manifest from trauma. Once you've been colonization is the biggest cancer of the world, and
Mhm.
it's the type of cancer that we haven't put in remission yet. It hasn't been. It's not in remission. It's still eating us alive, and it has from the Berlin Conference. What that created has manifested and manifested for these years into the disunity that we see today. And we got to find a way to decolonize Africa, but our mindsets first and our movements. So you can decolonize Africa, and if we're still functioning like Western folk, then what we doing? So we got to change. I think it's trauma. You see these petty differences. It's from people who are hurt, who are trying to get ahead, and they're fighting amongst each other, and nobody got resources. That's trauma.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe a week is a bit short. Let me say a month. All right.
I thought I would get you.
But there's no single black problem in this world that cannot be solved within a month.
A
Our
month.
problems, our problems are very easy to solve, fast to solve. That's how petty and small they are.
So why can't we solve
In
them?
in
If
Africa,
they're
like
so
I
petty
mean,
and they're so small, how can we solve? Why can't we solve them? They can't be petty
well,
and
because
small.
because before I get there, Queen, have you ever
Okay.
asked yourself what are the problems that we have? Like, for example, let's look at Africa.
Okay.
It's neocolonialism, it's disunity,
Yes. Yep.
tribalism,
Yep.
xenophobia. These problems are so easy to solve if we are committed and if we are serious and if we care about our future.
Hmm.
It's not. It's not. It's not rocket science. It's not something
No.
that is really complex. Tribalism is not complex. You know,
Hmm.
tribalism is being powered by greedy politicians who want to use their tribes as weapons so that they can remain in power.
Yep.
Neocolonialism is not hard. Neocolonialism is something that can be solved if we unite as Africa, if we have our common currency, if we take back
Yep.
our land. Queen, I was asked, what's so hard about us taking back our land?
Hmm.
What's so hard about us taking back it's our land. I don't have to have I don't have to have 10 conferences, me having conferences with white people so that we can discuss how you can return my land. Since when have you ever had a conference with a thief? So it's like I come to your house, Queen, and I steal your sofa set. So like I steal your couch and I steal your TV, right?
Right.
But you want to have like 10 conferences with
To get
me,
it back.
yeah, to discuss how I can return back your stuff. How does that make sense?
Because we're dealing with something bigger, though. I hear what you're saying, but you know what? What happened in Africa is it's a lot of fear too. These Europeans have killed, they have murdered, they have maimed, they've killed Pan African leaders. They've killed folks who come up against them. They come in and they arm one rebel against the other rebel. So people, I think a lot of times too, Africa has to get its defense up because these Europeans are killers. Literally, like
So,
you ask for something and they come and kill you and everybody who asked. So the next group is like, oh, we got to do it. We got to watch out. So this is what we're seeing. Like when you come in and kill leaders and you kill people and you scare people and you see them around the world killing people, Yemen, Palestine. I mean, they are killers, literally. I haven't even mentioned some the beauty fighters all over the world. Congo, come on. We see the unrest in people's countries all over Africa. There's so much unrest from European investment, America, France, all of them. So I think a lot of time, not only are people, you see the behaviors from colonization, but you also see fear, just unadulterated fear.
yes, yes. And we need to overcome that fear. We can't be fearful for 400 years. We've seen
Die on
them.
my knees. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah, yeah. Like I can understand the first, you know, out of the 400 years, I can understand the fact that for the first 100 years, it was fear because we didn't know what the hell was going on. This was new to
Absolutely.
us. It was
Yes.
slavery. We are being packed like sardines in ships. We are
Yes.
being thrown out of ships for the
Yep.
people who didn't make it to the other side of the Atlantic.
Yep.
And then when you get there, there's auctioning. There are people who are not speaking your language. You're being whipped. You're being breeded like like cattle.
Delicious.
So
Yes.
so it
Yes.
like the first 100 years was like what the
What,
like what is
what's
this?
going on here? Yeah, it's like
So so
wow.
now that we
But
have
you
we have
300
known
years,
them,
300 years
yeah,
past that, we got to move
yeah,
forward, and we gotta knock this thing in the eye. And enough of this. We should have had
exactly,
enough. Got it.
exactly,
I hear.
exactly. So now because we know them, now it's time for
Hmm.
us to act. Now we know them. We know them
We
now.
know. We definitely know them.
We know
We
them.
definitely,
Everywhere
yeah.
everywhere they've gone, they have ruined. Just actually today I was watching a documentary of the Maori people of New Zealand. They're the native New Zealanders, are the first people to inhabit New Zealand. And when you look at them, like they don't want to identify as Africans, but when you look at
They're
them,
Africans. They're
come on,
Africans.
man,
Please,
they
come on.
they like some of them, like you look at their ancestors' photos, they look like my grandmother, they look like my grandfather. I mean, come on, man. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I mean, the European
uh,
wasn't even present in those years. That's what kills me. Is like they try to talk about, but they weren't even present. They're a young race. They weren't even present. Africans were there. It's just what it is. I don't know why that's a problem,
yeah.
but we know that why that's a problem. But it's unfortunate.
Well, well, I can understand why they don't want to identify as Africans, even though it's self-hatred, and even
Yeah.
though they should. I can understand why, because nobody wants to join the losing team. We are losing now. We are losing. We are
Ah,
losing.
stop it.
We are losing. We are in
No.
the losing team. We are conceding goals. Like if this was a football game, we are conceding goals. We are trailing behind as a global African race. We are trailing behind. We are not serious in whatever we are doing. We don't have a collective black consciousness. We have an individual consciousness. So you only care about you or your family, and that's
Yeah.
it. You don't look beyond your family. You don't look
Yeah.
beyond yourself.
Yeah.
You look at
We're not
Jews.
comfortable.
Jews,
You're right.
yeah,
You're right.
Jews look beyond themselves. Chinese look beyond themselves. That's why they even have a Chinatown here in Kenya. Uh,
Everywhere.
uh, Indians,
Everywhere.
Indians,
There's
Indians,
a Chinatown.
Indians look beyond themselves. You look at the way Diwali celebrations in India here in Kenya. You look at how they love each other. You look at how they share meals with each other. They share basic needs with each other. Let me ask you, Queen. Since when have you ever seen black people coming together like as a community, and we are sharing basic needs with each other? When have you ever? There's no
I've seen
love.
no, no, I've
There's
seen
no.
it. Stop it. Since I've
Well,
seen it.
okay, no. I'm
Seen
not
it. I've
saying
seen
that.
it. Stop it.
No, no.
We
I'm
do
not
it.
saying. Listen, I'm not saying that it's not there. I'm saying, why is it not like prevalent? Why is it not constant? Why is it
Because we are a
like
traumatized. I think we do not want to. Trauma doesn't expire, brother. It just doesn't. And I think a lot of times we want to move on. And especially if you weren't directly in the trauma, we don't understand generational trauma. We don't understand, like, just like blood, we pass generations of trauma on over and over and over. That just like traditions. Why do we have traditions? When you look in your culture and you look in your family, it's something traditional that you guys do. No one has to even say anything. It's just done. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a tradition. It's something that is almost in your DNA. The trauma that the African has experienced is so embedded in our DNA. And what we see all the time is we're trying to catch up. We continue to try to catch up to the same people who who were the illustrators of the trauma, who were the architects. And so our issues is we're never looking at self and seeing how we can be self-determining, how we can bring it out of ourselves and what we have to do, and expelling that try to catch up than more than try to catch on. And I think a lot of times I see you as a young man, you're talking about, yes, we are losing in a lot of ways. I don't think we're losing. I think a lot of ways we are in a lost column but it starts with how the things that's hurt, we haven't fixed it. You have to fix it. And we want to keep going on. Let's move on. Let's do this. Let's do that. But if you don't fix that trauma, you continue to fall into these holes, these competitive holes. And so this is what you see over and over. This is why Africa can't unite. It's all of the leaders. They can't get rid of their egos. They can't come together because they all are competing.
Let me tell
I'm
you.
sure at the summit they all got see who has the biggest Maybach or who has the shiniest shoe. They're competing on such a micro level. Because of trauma.
Yeah. No, that's very true. That's very true. But we have to find expeditious ways on how we can mitigate these traumas.
We got to mitigate it. You're right. I think the younger people are going to help us, though. The older ones, we're almost colonized. We're in trouble because we still thinking traditional, and we still want to partner with the same. You can't partner with evil. You just can't. You got to expel it and build yourself. And that is exactly how I like Burkina Faso and Mali and Nigeria and look like Ghana is coming to, and Senegal. You're not happy with them, but I mean, I like that they are saying you got to go, and we got to do it ourselves, and we're willing to fight. We're willing to die. These guys are willing to die.
Happy for them. I'm really happy for them. In fact, Burkina Faso has launched electric vehicle. So I'm really happy. But you know what? By now, see, you know why I keep on telling you that we are trailing behind and we have a slave mentality. By now, we should have those vehicles. You know the way you see presidential motorcades. Imagine by now we should have that Burkina Faso vehicle. Every single president, every single president in Africa should have that Burkina Faso electric vehicle in their motorcade.
No more Cadillacs.
I don't want to see Range Rover. I don't want to see Chevrolets. I don't want to see Toyotas. I don't want to see nothing. They should have that vehicle so that we can support it. Because imagine, like, if people see that, it will motivate them to buy it.
But most of the leaders are over 35. Most of them are actually over 40. The ones that you see that are next level are youth, are young. Traore, the guy in Senegal. I mean, the guy in Mali, 40 something. The guy in Nigeria, they're still young 40s though. They're not. But these, your president and the guy in Ethiopia, these guys, they still, I think, very intelligent guys. But they still want. They still want to partner with daddy. They gotta and ECOWAS, all of them gotta go. And so that's the issue, is the mindset. It's like you see how revolutionary you are. That's because you're sick of it, because you see the resources and you see where it should be. You look at Traore, this guy is not playing, and he's willing to. He's got these coups on his head. He's fighting for his life, literally, but he's still going forward. That's what we need. That's what we need.
Yeah. And I'm really,
every president should have that car. I agree with you. Every last one should be ordering that car tomorrow.
It's not even presidents. Every billionaire, every billionaire in this continent,
every millionaire, all of them.
If you can afford it, basically. I can't afford it, but if you can afford it, buy it exactly. So
if we don't invest in us, who's going to invest in us? And that's the thing, is we're still, you go around Africa, Toyotas everywhere, Benz, Mercedes is give them up. Mercedes ain't putting $1 in Africa. Enough.
It's not even that. You find that they're exported, so there's no car plants, or if they're very, very few in Africa. So they're not even employing Kenyans to make those, or employing Africans to make those vehicles. We import them. So that's what I'm trying to say, Queen, is that we are trailing behind. The
We
one
have to
thing
train.
one thing
Listen,
one thing
we
about
started.
trauma.
We started
Yeah,
later. We cannot.
you see.
We can't catch up. We got to go on our own
Yeah, I
pace.
know. Yeah, I know, but you see, China. Uh, Let me tell you one story about China. China, when Chairman Mao Zedong took over,
Yes,
which was I think in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken.
it was the
I
late
don't know if it's in
50s,
the 60s.
60s. I think it was 50, late 60s. You're correct. Something like that. That's
Yes,
when China
when
started to
Mao.
change. Yes, became a manufacturing hub of the world. But go ahead.
Oh, and yeah. So Mao Zedong, when he took over, China was nothing. China was
Yep.
disrespected by everybody, including Russia. In fact,
Yep.
Joseph Stalin said, I don't remember what he said, but he basically sunned and disrespected China. So
Yeah.
China was nothing. 50,
Yep.
60 years later, they're rivaling America.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know why? Because they had to sit down and, like with Chairman Mao, even as brutal as he was,
Yeah.
I'm not highlighting the brutality that he had, but I
He had a
respect the fact
vision.
that
He had a
I
vision.
respect the fact that he had a vision, and I respect
Mhm.
the fact that he wanted China to be for Chinese people, and he wanted
Yeah.
them to create their own reality. He
Yeah.
basically started the blueprint of what China is right now.
Yeah.
That's where we should be as Africa. We should sit down and ask ourselves, who are we?
But
Who
can I
are
say one thing?
we?
Can I say one thing? You're right. We should say who, but still, no one was going into China. China don't have the resources that Africa has. So I hear what you're saying, but the problem that is Africa is the richest nation in the world. So it's very hard to expel people from free resource. China was able to close its doors and work from within without anybody caring what they were doing actually. And then they were
Yeah,
started to do the work of the world. They started to manufacture for the world. Okay, now we got a country that will slave for all of us. So all of us can stop manufacturing and do something else. They won't leave Africa alone. We got a different reality. I think we compare ourselves to countries. China is another one that is in Africa with their hands out, just like America, just like Russia. Just no country has the problem that the African has, and that is the sun nation of Mother Africa. And the amount of
yeah,
resource and the amount of minerals and everything is there. China didn't have that problem
exactly. And
when it
that's a
was
very good
building.
point. And that's a very good point. Why is China not as well resourced as Africa is, and they've been able to and they've been able to now overtake America? And we,
Because they
the
found they
most,
did a blueprint and they used it, but they don't have they still got to come to Africa for resources. Still.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But the blueprint of their power right now is because
Uh-huh.
they had to sit down and be like, we need to have a winning mentality. We
Yep.
need to amass world power. We need to know
Yeah.
who we are first. We need to be proud of who we are first. Then we
Mhm.
need to use, and once we know who we are and once we are proud of who we are, now let's
Mhm.
build our nation.
Yeah. I agree.
But we have to know
I
who
totally
we are.
got to know who we are.
We need to know. You talked about trauma. The trauma is a mental health issue. The
Yeah.
first problem we need, even when you go to a psychiatrist, when you go to a psychiatrist right now, or to a
Hmm.
psychologist, or whatever you want to call them.
Hmm.
Wait, psychologist. Did I say psychiatrist? Psychiatrist is
You're right. Both of
is
them,
for.
psychiatrists,
Sorry.
psychologists, they're all psych people. Psych. It's all good. People you talk
Okay,
to.
yeah. So
Yeah.
when you go to a like when you go to a
A
therapist,
mental health.
psychologist,
Let's say mental health professional. We got it.
yeah, mental health
Yeah.
professional, what they tell you to do is that first of all, you need to acknowledge the fact that you have a problem.
Yeah.
Once you acknowledge the fact that you have a problem, acknowledge it. Acknowledge you have a problem. Once you acknowledge it, now let's find ways on how we can deal with it.
Yep.
But stage one is acknowledging that we have a problem. We are still at stage one.
But the mental health professionals dealing with one person. We're talking about 54 brains, 54 hearts, 54 mentalities. Do you get what I'm saying, bro? We're
Exactly.
talking about 54 men who are stubborn, egotistical. We're talking about all of this, and then countries behind them. I'm not saying it can't happen, but we're talking about when a mental health professional, it doesn't have 54 heads, one head. You got 54 people, 53 people who have to say one of them has to be the leader. Are they going to do that? That is where we are. 53 people have to go back away. That's what Africa needs.
Well, let me be realistic. As we are right now in Africa, as we are right now here in Africa, for the we've been segmented for long.
Yeah.
It is almost impossible for us to have one African leader to lead the whole continent. But here's what we can happen. But here's what can happen. In the name of Pan-Africanism, in the name of African unity, this is what can happen. One thing that is very easy is that we can open up our borders. Yeah. We can create our own currency. We can trade with each other duty free. We can speak in one language.
Yeah.
And most importantly, we can form an alliance with the African diaspora. When it comes to politics,
that's it.
Yeah, and also
we can control right now. You can get to know each other, go within out and start establishing alliances. Even in Africa, there's some that don't mix. We got to start mixing too, the tribes and the different countries. If we got to break out of Berlin Conference, go back to the old Acabulon. I'm with that. You understand what I'm saying? Let's give it all of these. Even if we got 7 or 8 segments and leaders in that, it's more tolerable than this 54.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we just start there. But I love what you said. Open the borders. Look at a currency. We got all of the resources for a currency. It's there. Open the currency, get a currency for the nation. And you said one language. Beautiful. Everybody can speak to each other. You can keep your tribal tongue, but one national language. And not English, not any Western language. I don't want to hear it. None of them.
Swahili.
And,
it needs to be
Swahili.
Swahili
would be excellent. But some others would say something else. That's unfortunate. That's the thing about, West Africa. I might say, but I think Swahili is a good stuff.
In fact, Julius Malema the other day, he was saying that Swahili is a better. Yeah,
that'll work. That's my man right there. I love Malema. I love Julius, South Africa. That's my man. So if we could do that, then now we're starting to get to know each other. We're mixing with each other within the continent. Because listen, they cannot be, and then the diaspora now has a little more faith in what's going on in Africa, because we've been taught that you guys are chaotic. It's just so sick. We've been taught that you guys are untrustworthy. Our own people. I swear. And so
it's funny they would say that
we don't trust. That's sad, but it's the truth.
Well, it's funny they would say that, and the wars that are happening in the world, most of them are happening outside of Africa, and the deaths as a result of wars that are happening, most deaths are outside Africa in terms of war. So please, come on, that's nothing. But then look, here's one thing I need to say. you guys need to find a way to form a connection with the motherland. I'm talking about our
Have to.
distant relatives, our distant relatives of Black
The
America,
diaspora.
Black Europe,
Yes.
Black South
Yep.
America, Black Australia,
Yep.
Black New Zealand, whatever. Let me
Yep.
tell you, Black power is good.
Mm.
Black power, Black power is good outside of Africa, but Black power is great inside Africa. Remember,
Mm.
let me tell you something. You can make all the Black Wall Streets all you want, which is good, and I want them to be there. But in the
I'm gonna keep
long
my.
run,
It's not
in
gonna
the
work.
long run, it's not gonna work in
Not
a
sustainable.
in a white society. It can't work in a white dominated society. It cannot work in a white dominated society economically, politically, socially. Black power cannot thrive in white supremacy. Black power can only thrive where it came from, and black power came from Africa.
You better say it. I love
So
it.
that's why I'm saying
Keep going.
exactly.
Keep,
So that's why I'm
keep going.
saying come back home. I don't care whether you listen. Like I always tell people, just start by traveling. You know, people are scared of Africa. They think we eat people here, and they think no, no, no. Come on, like like
Yeah.
stop.
But
Forget what these white
this is
people. Forget what these
real.
white
This
people.
is what we've been taught. This is real. It's so
Yeah.
unfortunate. Is that because see, listen, most Black Americans don't we four square miles. We have the lack of resources here too. So we're being pushed around. We don't have a lot of resources. So we only go in 4 square miles from our home. We don't go far. And we don't even leave, most of us don't even leave the East Coast to go to the West Coast. So imagine to get on a plane for 20 hours. We don't do it because first of all, we don't have any resources, and you stay where you're familiar. You only be where you know, because especially when you know that you can be haunted, that somebody can kill you with no remorse. It's always in the back of your head. You act like you don't, like you're free, you're not free, and you know you're not free. And I'm gonna say it, none of us are free here in America. We're here existing because that's where we started, and we don't have anywhere to go. And we're scared to. Most of us are scared of Africa. It's the truth.
Mm,
I'm not. I
exactly.
want to come to Africa, but we're scared of Africa. But we got to go home. We got to see it for ourselves. We cannot believe the same people who have murdered and fractured our communities. You cannot believe them. And it's in our education. It's how we're being enculturated that Western is good and Africa is bad. It is what it is. And we got to change the dynamic.
Oh yeah. And but before now, this is another important point. Before you come to Africa physically, you have
Mm-hmm.
to first of all come to Africa mentally.
That's what I'm
Don't
saying. You gotta do this.
yeah
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
like first of all, you remember when I said the last episode, it all starts with the heart.
Yeah.
First of all, you need to have the heart. You need to love Africa before you come here. You need to love Africa, and then you need to do your research. So if you already love Africa, and if you've already
Mm-hmm.
done your research, and and you're mentally ready, so first you need to love Africa here in the heart. You need to do your research. Then now you need to be ready mentally. That's when you can. That's when you're ready to come to Africa. And I don't care if it's travel. I don't care if it's relocation. But you need to be ready mentally before you're ready physically. It's
I agree.
I
I
can't
agree.
stress this enough. I can't stress this. This is the most important thing.
I
It-
agree.
we like, and that's why I'm really skeptical of what Ghana is doing now, because all they
I
do
told
is
you
is
talked about it. Yeah, like giving them acres and the Westerners are building something on the side for themselves. Why are we coming into Africa and separating ourselves from the Ghanaians? That doesn't make sense. It's not good. We're doing the same thing Europeans do. It's awful. Awful.
and it's not even that because Ghana is also giving white people citizenship like it's Christmas. So
Well, they are, but I'm talking about they're giving like land. I just said Black
yeah.
200 acres to build their own community. That's not how it should be. You come in and you build a community with the people around you, because if you give them space to do stuff their own, they're only going to set up the same colony that they came from, and then now you're going to have bad relations between the indigenous Africans and then these new Africans that are coming back. So we're not helping each other if we don't come and decolonize. It should be a booth at the airport, bro. You walk in and you decolonize. And I'm serious, and you decolonize. You walk in and you wash all the white off of you. All of them. What's the word again? Mazungu. I don't want to mess it up. What is it?
No, it's good.
What's the
Mzungu,
word?
yeah.
Your Mazungu. Like you go into the Mazungu booth and Mazungu. You wash it off you. It should be at the airport. I'm serious, because this thing is real. And you walk in there and you come out of African. You come out with a dashiki on. And you come out with your mind is your brain is shaped like Africa. That's how it should be. It is what it is.
Yeah. And the same thing applies to us. When we go outside, the problem with continental Africans is that a lot of us, when we leave Africa to go to US, to go to Europe, we tend to stay away from other Black people, and we tend to think that the more we are close to white people, the more we are close to success. We need to change that mentality. I have relatives, I have friends from who are in Europe, who are in the US, and they tell me the same thing. Africans don't like each other. When Africans go to the US, especially Europe, Europe is where I have had it like 1,000 times.
Really?
When Africans go to Europe, they don't even like being with each other. They don't socialize with each other. They don't talk to each other. They're in close proximity. They're in close proximity with white people. They want to socialize with, they want to be with white people so much. And then the white people, some of them are intoxifying their minds, telling them that, yo, you see those Black Americans there, you see those Black Europeans over there, they're bad people. All they do is sell drugs. All they do is they lie to them so that. And one thing about white supremacy, the greatest fear is they don't want a Pan-African unity. They don't want African diaspora.
No unity. That's
because they know that is the only antidote to white supremacy. The only antidote to white supremacy is Pan-African unity. That's the only antidote. That is why they're doing all they can to ensure that Africans don't unite with African Americans and Africans in the diaspora.
Yep, I agree.
Because they know the power of Pan-Africanism. The problem with these FBA people, and I'm on their asses, man. Like, if they're people, because how can you, like, you know what, Queen? Like the other day, I was telling my friend. So the whole idea of FBAs and whatever they call themselves is, the idea is they want to fight white supremacy on their own, and they want independence on their own. Well,
they won't last a week on their own. White supremacy will tear them apart. They won't last on. They need other Africans. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah, that's even number one. But even the most important thing is, we've been fighting for white supremacy from a divided standpoint. Where has it led us? Where are we now?
Same place.
No, it seems like it seems like they're doing a good job, yeah? Because I mean, for the past 60 to 70 years, African Americans have been fighting on their own. Africans in South America on their own. Africans here in the continent, we've been fighting for freedom on our own. So we've all been fighting on our own. It seems like we are doing very well because for the past 60 to 70 years, we are still in the same place. Is that doing well, Queen?
Actually
So
diminished.
what is
Actually worse
so
place. We're
so
actually
what is
worse.
insanity? So what is insanity?
That's when you do the same things and expect different results.
How can you repeat? How can you do the same thing over and over again for 70 years and expecting different results? Let me tell you, what these FBA people don't want to tell you, but maybe they're scared or they don't want the shame of saying it. But I know that's what they believe in. They want to change the behavior of white people. They want to change the mentality of white people.
You
That is why
can't.
you want to be. That is why you want to be away from Africa. That is why you don't want Pan-African unity. That is why you want to fight on your own. That is why you want Black Americans to exist on their own, because you want to be in close proximity with white with white power structures,
Yeah,
because you don't believe that Pan-African unity can succeed. You don't
that's what
believe
they
that your
say.
own people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they say, a slave is safe with the master that can protect them, unfortunately.
exactly,
And
exactly.
that's what we see. It's so unfortunate that you think that you could do this alone. That's why we need Africa to be strong, and the diaspora has to respond, because that is the only way. You said that is the antidote to white supremacy is African unity, and they know it. They're clear about it. They don't. First of all, they don't have the numbers. They don't have the creativity. They don't have what we have. They don't have the resources. They just cannot compete. It's not, they can't. And until we realize that and own it and actually build from it, we're gonna have some issues. And so I don't know.
Oh yeah. So
It's
insanity
a tough
is,
pill.
these guys are insane. That's what, like, the FBA people are insane because they think that they can do things for 70 years over and over again and they expect a different result. You've been fighting white supremacy on your own for 70, 60 years and you're still at the same place and you wonder why. White supremacy is a global institution. You
Global
need
Institute.
another global institution to defeat it and to be protected from it. And the only global institution that can defeat white supremacy is Pan-African unity.
Yes.
You will
Because you
never,
need,
we will never defeat white supremacy when we are fighting from a divided standpoint.
I agree. I agree. The only way to fight it is to utilize the gain, and the gain is Africa. That is the gain. And you
Yeah.
need that. You need that bargaining chip.
Mm.
You absolutely need it. And so if we're going to go forward, we have to come together. It is just no other way. And that's why we're here, ORINA, is for us to sing this song and then hope we can start a choir. And once you start a choir, you start a church. Start a church, we start a movement. That's just, I'm just saying it in those terms, even though we're not religious. But just in those terms, that is why we're here. Is this partnership, this collaboration, is to highlight that we can be in different places and still be the same and want the same
Yeah.
results. And so that, and then at some point we can come together and then be much more powerful. If I come, because I don't even want you to come to the States, stay where you at. I'm coming to Kenya, because we need to get acclimated with Africa. We need to get acclimated with Africa, and that's just what it is. And so what you're saying, at your age, if we can get 150,000 more you in their
Oh, they're coming.
20s,
Oh,
in
they're
their
coming.
20s, to bark like this, because Africa has the most vital population in the world, under
Mm.
25 and under 19, the most young people in the world. So imagine if 30% of those start this language. It's a movement. It's a movement, and that's what we need. We need, and then the older ones, well, then because we got to start. We've been in this for so long, we think this is regular. It's not, and so we need fresh voices like yours. And I'm so glad to do this with you every second Monday. I really am. We talked a little about tech, but we went into
Well,
I mean, and I think that's how our conversations will be. A lot is talking about one thing and then it goes into other things,
But that's what I do. Like when I start, like when I catch the Holy Ghost, I just go and go and go. So yeah. The Pan African Ghost. The Pan African Ghost. Yeah.
I know. Listen, you love your people, you love Africa, you have a vision, and I want to support you in this vision. You're gonna be our president. We're gonna have to put you in space. You got to do some politics. Yeah, you have everything. You have everything for it. You definitely got to do something. I mean, think about it. You're young now.
When I become, like, let me tell you, like, if I'm in charge, I might the first assassination attempt towards me will be in the first week.
Woo!
Because I will turn this thing all around.
Yeah, you're gonna clean house.
I don't play.
You're gonna have to have definitely a lot of defense. If anybody comes in and wants to change the paradigm, they gotta come in almost like these military. Most of the people who've done these coups have been military officers. They have to have militia. You need it, because you can't. These guys are gonna come in like the thief of the night. They're gonna come at night, morning. It's never gonna stop. Women, they're gonna employ everything they can to get to you. And so you got to have some type of defense behind you.
And by the way, I was watching news the other day, and so far they're reporting that 2 Kenyan police officers have been found dead in the Haiti peacekeeping mission. In fact, the other day the Haiti, in fact, we like
that's gonna happen more.
Like the police officers, the Kenyan police officers who are in the peacekeeping mission, their asses are being whooped by these gang members. Like it's war over there, and it's sad that we are using now our taxpayers' money to go to Haiti to solve a problem that has been created by America and France. We are going to Haiti to make matters even worse. If
and those same people have created problems in your country, and you go to another country to fight the same people who's creating more problems, who created problems in your country. Tell me, how cynical is that? That don't make no sense.
That's why we have really inept and useless presidents here in Africa. We have even worse members of parliament, where people called you people call them congressmen.
Yeah, government, yeah.
So if the presidents are like that, what do you think the governors are like? What do you think the senators are? What do you think the members of parliament are? What do you think the council members, which we call MCAs?
The same thing here. They're all idiots. Idiots. Just straight idiots. They all fall in line with idiocy. It's sad. The president is an idiot, and all his cabinet is an idiot. The parliament,
who also is very disappointing in Black American politics?
Cool.
The Congressional Black Caucus. And the Black mayor.
Here you go.
And the black governors, if you guys have them.
We have a few. I think too.
how can you have how can you have people like the Congressional Black was like what, like 50 or 60,
It's a lot of them.
And they've never sat down and be like, let us address and let us make legislation on the issues that are affecting Black people.
They are though.
But why
They are, but it
like
doesn't have to, because they don't control anything. So you can't work within a system that is built to oppress you. I think that's what it is we're spending time and energy in a system that is made to oppress you. How does it now fix you? It can't. It
good,
just, there's no system like that in the world that oppresses and fixes at the same time.
even better. So because they belong to these two parties that have never given a damn about Black people, why don't we make a Black party? Not even a Black
Right.
party. It's not a Black party, but a Black organized voting bloc. This is what
Same thing
I
in
was
Africa that you say is the problems is here
yeah.
too. They can't come
Well,
together. There's a lot
and
of
that's why
colonized Black minds who want to be around white people, who want to be Republicans, who want to be Democrats. They feel comfortable in those spaces. They're never going to vote all together, unfortunately. Trauma.
for as long as we have a low racial IQ, for as long as we have lack of love of each other, for as long as we have a lack of collective consciousness as a Black people, we will continue to keep on trailing behind. Look at all these tariff wars that are happening, China versus US. Then and then you have like everybody knows what their chips. China knows where it like China knows the power and the influence that it has. Same as US, same as Europe. And now there's an economic war happening between these powerful countries because they know the value that they have. But Africa, we're just here. Like we are looking at we are the only people who are not even looking at the chips that we have. So everybody knows the power and the influence that they have. Everybody is seeking power. Everybody's seeking influence, but Africa is just sitting there like, who is going to use me well? I am so sick and tired of us being at the bottom of the table while the big boys are making deals, at the table. You know what? When are we going to realize that we are the table? We are not. Listen. I don't want us to be the head of the table. I don't want us to be at the bottom of the table. I want us to be the table because we are the table.
The table.
In fact, we are a dining table. In a dining table, we have food, right? Every single person, US, white people, Asians, Arabs, they take every single dish that is placed in this table called Africa. So you have chicken over there. Arabs want the chicken. You have meat on top of the table. Americans want the meat. You have what? Turkey. Chinese want the turkey. What am I saying? What am I saying? Exactly. Africa has what? The gold, everybody is taking it. Diamonds, oil, coltan.
Yep. Coltan, zinc, whatever you want to, they're mining it out of Africa.
We are the table. I want us to be in a position whereby we are the ones giving sanctions to America, to Europe, and to China because we have the chips. We have all the chips in our table. You know how sick I get when I see China and America playing all these economic wars and Europe playing all these economic wars, and they're going back and forth and everything, and we're just sitting here like a bunch of.
They made Africa impotent first. That was their first law of business, is to make Africa impotent. The 54 country thing made it impotent at the door. That was they made Africa impotent. We have to break those barriers. And so the impotency is too many people at the table and no one is getting along. So if you can't get gold one place, you can go somewhere else. If you can't get oil in the Niger Delta, then you turn around, you might go you go somewhere else, or you go to Venezuela, or you find another place that you oppress to get all of your resources, because everybody's oppressed. You got to break the table first. We can't be the table and be in 54 pieces.
Exactly.
Ain't no table got that many pieces.
Exactly. You know what? That's a very good point, Queen. We're in 54. We are so, like, in this wooden table
might have coltan. Congo got coltan, and then this table here got diamonds. So and then this another piece of the table got diamonds. I shut this one down, but I still can get it from this one. Or I can go. You understand? You can't have 54 pieces to the table. That's the problem. Africa's impotent. It's strong. Unfortunately, it's just like a man who has a penis and he doesn't get a rat. You got one, but it ain't working. Africa has all of this stuff, but it's not working because everybody's taking it.
Now, and then if we continue to use the same analogy of the broken table, which has been broken into 54 little pieces, is that we don't even know how big we are until we unite those pieces.
Because the pieces are broke. They're all in their own world. They've never said, okay, this is the whole table. When that happens, they're gonna shake. They're shaking now because they see that that these guys are shaking and saying enough of this. But they're not. They can't last if other people don't come on board. Other countries got to come on board, and I don't know why it's taking so long. The Zimbabwe's and all of these landlocked countries. Number one, guy, how come Burkina Faso landlocked do what it's doing? He really believes in himself. This guy don't have no water around him.
It's funny you said Zimbabwe. People can say anything they want about Mugabe when he was president of Zimbabwe, but Mugabe did the unthinkable thing of taking back African land from white people. Now you know what's happening. Yeah, and now you know what's happening. Well, he made some mistakes when it comes to redistribution, but the fact that he actually did it, that could have been motivation for other African countries to do it. Now look,
and live.
Do you know?
And was able to continue and live. That means that you can do it, because most die. And when you start taking that land and you going after their money, he lived and he was able to go for it, and he stood on the world stage and told people where to go.
Oh, and now there's a big problem, because just today I read the news that the Zimbabwe government listen to me, is compensating white people for the actions that Mugabe did by snatching the land from them, which belongs to us. So white people are saying,
what is wrong with these people? Who agreed to that?
Let me tell you, very soon, all these leaders will go home. Very soon. There is a youth uprising. Like last year was when I realized that, we can take over this whole thing.
Yeah.
When Kenyans when the Kenyan youth went to the streets, do you know it was so scary to these leaders, to a point whereby they, like, the senators, the members of parliament, they couldn't even come back to their constituents. They had to stay they had to stay in Nairobi, where like they couldn't go to their local constituents, because they knew if they go there, I mean, like, the block is hot. You are going to be beaten. Like, it was bad. People were, but it has slowed down because
all over the continent, these young people are there's more young people in Africa than older people. Rise up.
Nigeria followed suit last year. Uh, yeah, Nigeria followed, and then there were some other countries as well. And that's why I keep on saying that Kenya is one of those countries that the whole continent looks up to. You see, like Kenya,
Because of the
Nigeria, South
uprising.
Africa. Yeah, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, and Egypt. But mostly Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa. Those are like, if we need to be the trendsetters, because like the whole continent looks up to us. Like those three countries are the trendsetters of Africa.
Mm.
So if those three countries come up, like if we move in unison when it comes to the Kenyan youth taking back their countries, ooh,
Mm-hmm.
the whole continent will follow suit.
I'm trying
I'm
to tell
telling
you,
you.
y'all have y'all have the best population for it. It's no population like that in the world so young, where the youth are outnumbering the old 2 times over. You can do it in Africa for sure. If you can't do it anywhere, it can be done there. And so you got to find a way. What we're talking about is uprising, revolution. That's the only way to make change. It's the only way.
Yeah.
That's the only. They only see it when they can't make money and their life is at stake. That's the only time they come to the table. Unfortunately, you got to be forced to the table. A coup only changes. It has to be a revolution every time.
Now,
That's what we see
yeah.
happening.
But
Yeah.
then now the problem is when the youth take back power, we need to select the right youth.
A plan. You got to have a plan. You can't just throw anybody in there.
Because
Got to have a plan.
like I like, let me tell you, like, I remember when I was in high school, my friends
Mm-hmm.
were like, my friend, like, my classmates were telling me, hey, mi nikiiba, like, hao wengine wakiiba mbona mi nisiibe? That is, so in Swahili it means that if other people are stealing, why should I not steal?
Mm.
So they're looking at these corrupt leaders like
Yeah,
they're
that's the
like
way to go.
they're stealing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Wow.
I'm learning from them.
Ah,
So now that's why I'm saying we need to have the right youth, because even
yeah.
though there's this uprising, we need to be very careful of which youth we need to put in power, because they might be an extension or a 2.0 version of the
Yeah.
old generation. You
Yeah.
see?
So you got to have an uprising with a plan. It needs to be. It definitely has to have a plan, but you got to have your leaders in place and know what you're going to do, and then to be like-minded in Africa first, not themselves first. It has to be Africa, their people first. You get that, but it has to be a plan. You can't just kill people and then go in place and throw anybody there. You're gonna have a problem. You're gonna definitely
Absolutely.
have a problem. So listen, we've been here 2 hours. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
I this has been good. This has been good. We're gonna definitely have some good reels from this one, but definitely fourth Monday. I'm gonna drop your series this fourth Monday next in 2 weeks, and then we'll be back to shoot breeze on in what May. Yeah, this is April.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll be back in May. I'm telling you, time is flying, ain't it? So we'll be back in May and we'll do this again. But listen, give us your final jewel, bro. Drop it. Close us out.
The final jewel that and today you're giving out your final jewel as well, because this is our
Okay.
show, and like, I can't be the only one giving out the jewel, Queen. Come on. Okay, so
Go ahead. You first.
uh, so number one, I think the highlight of this episode is, number one, we need to, well, first of all, to the FBA people, you guys are insane. You need to get out of your insanity. You guys are insane, because the reason why you're insane is that you're doing things over and over again expecting a different result. You will never defeat white. FBA will never defeat white supremacy alone. You will never coexist on your own. No man is an island. United we stand, divided we fall. There's a reason why you and me here in the continent have been in the same place for the past 70 years. It's because we are not united. It's because we are not embracing Pan-Africanism.
Yeah.
White supremacy is a global institution. You will never defeat. It has never been seen before. You will never defeat a global institution alone as a segment.
Mm.
Pan-Africanism is the global institution that will defeat another global institution, which is white supremacy. That's the only way we can be free. Stop thinking that you're not a part, because I hear some of them saying that, oh, I'm Cherokee, I'm Native, listen. And by
Hence.
the way, Native Americans, and by the way, the Indians also owned slaves as well. So
Yeah.
you'd like and they're the same people who keep on saying, you know,
Americans.
you know, like they're the same people who keep on saying that you Africans sold us to the white man during slavery, but you will never, ever, ever hear them criticize the Native Americans who also sold them during slavery.
Yeah.
That's why I keep on telling you that that disconnect between the African diaspora and Africa that's my lifetime commitment. My commitment is to connect us in the name of Pan-Africanism. We are in this together. We are facing the same institution. America was in the Berlin Conference, which is the reason why Africa is divided till this day. The same America that is oppressing you. We're in this together. Guys, we are in this together. Number two, to the tech startups and everything, I am so disappointed at the African billionaires and the African millionaires, and that goes to also black millionaires and black billionaires globally. The reason why tech startups, not only in Africa, but also in America that are black are failing is because they lack funding. Therefore, they are forced to go to white people to get funding.
Yeah.
But because they can't get that funding, they compromise themselves by hiring white people in leadership so that they can get that funding. It is embarrassing. The fact that we have to do that is embarrassing. I need these black billionaires, these black millionaires to start investing in. You know what? Like they need to come together and they'll be like, you're worth 5 billion, you're worth 4 billion. How about we come together? Let's form an investment group and let's look and let's fund these African tech startups. Within 5 years, I assure you, within 5 years, you will be surprised at the things that will pop out of Africa. You'll be surprised at the creativity that will exude out of. You will be surprised. It just needs funding. That's the only thing that's standing from an African Silicon Valley is funding, 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 funding. But all they do, these African millionaires and billionaires, all they do is to think about themselves. All they do is to grow their businesses, which is good. It's your business. You should grow it. But you need to diversify, like you need to diversify your portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to diversify your portfolio, you need to stop investing in white. See, that's another thing. These rich, these rich Africans and the rich black people all over the world, they don't support black tech startups. Not all, but some. But they go and support white tech startups.
Yeah, of course. Ring and
So
all of that. That's where they put their money. Of course.
all these rappers put their money on was it who I've forgotten. There's a really, and in fact, I don't want to mention names, but he's one of my favorite. He was one of the early investors of Ring.
Nas.
You know, you said it, not
Nas.
me, but no, you
I
said it,
said
not
it.
me.
It's the truth. I mean, it's public knowledge
So
that he was one of the first.
And you know what? I love Nas. Nas, come to Kenya and come invest in tech startups in Kenya. Come.
I love it. I love it. Tell him, brother. Tell him. I love it. Is that it?
So Jay, like, you know what? I'm challenging Jay. I'm challenging Nas. I'm challenging Snoop. I'm challenging who like Dr.
All of them.
Dre. All of
Yep.
that. I'm challenging Beyonce.
50.
I'm challenging all of them. 50.
Come.
I'm challenging. I'm challenging. Although I like Ja Rule built a school in Ghana. I'm really happy for what he did. That's good.
That's not
Uh, but it's like
all of them.
come together and don't even think about anything first. Just come together and think about one thing. One thing, tech startups, because tech is running the whole world.
Love it.
Let, and let's
That.
and let's and let's and let's give ourselves a target. In 5 years, Africa needs to produce something bigger than Instagram, something bigger than
Facebook.
Meta,
Gotta go.
something bigger than something bigger than
That's right.
Uber.
That's what they're afraid of. Trust me, that's what they're afraid of.
And that's my last
Right.
word, Queen.
That's your last word. All right. My jewel is look in the mirror and look at you. And then you're the one. Whatever,
Mhm.
it starts with you. Start to colonizing your mind, reading books, learning history, connecting with Africa, travel, expand your mind, expand your vision. When you do that, then you're able to listen to a conversation like this and be open to it. If it's not you, who could it be? It's got to be you. We got to personally deal with ourselves and decolonize our thoughts, our minds, and our actions. When we do that, we can have relationships in the diaspora that are positive, and we can become African first. Because there's no black, it's nothing. Black is something that somebody made up. We're all Africans. You know, we're all Africans, and we have to embrace that and be that. And Africa will and Mother Africa will survive if we all learn to thrive. That's just what it is. It is what it is. So, guys, this has been Queen. And who we got? Say your name.
We have ORINA in the building.
Yeah, we have ORINA and Queen, and we come together every second and fourth Monday. Check out this the space we're building for African people. And I want you guys to y'all got to come in and y'all got to respond. I need y'all to get in the comments, get in the chat. Don't hold back. I start talking to you guys. If we can get somebody to come, we can start having a WhatsApp number, and they can call in. We can do that too. But we're building this circle. So tell your friends, tell everybody, like, share, subscribe to Black Box Radio, and make sure you subscribe to Sell Africa to Africans or the original ORINA. Subscribe to subscribe. Support our
ORINA.
work. Huh?
Official ORINA at official ORINA.
At official ORINA, excuse me, I said original. At official ORINA, we have to support us because we're here to support you. That's just where it is. So everyone have a good Monday, and it's MiMs Monday, and we boxed up and out. Can we get some deuces, bro? We go.
Oh, fish.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot. He can only do power. I forgot. It's always with my brother. It's always, and I love him for this. He said no deuce. Peace. That's not the outro. That's the intro.